September 2008, the world economy was in chaos, the collapse of the Lehman Brothers. Stock prices nosediving to the lowest since the collapse of the bubble economy. Japan's manufacturing industries were bewildered and lost. It was in this pitch darkness that Toyota Motor Corporation announced at the start of the new year the appointment of a new president. The press conference announcing the appointment was titled "Rise from the Bottom." In the business report announced shortly afterward, Toyota suffered losses for the first time in 71 years. However, awaiting this new start from the bottom were more serious setbacks. Product recalls, earthquake disasters, and floods. In the face of these adversities, Akio Toyoda tackled these unprecedented hardships together with the 300,000 Toyota employees. And today, the company has recovered, with global sales surpassing 10 million units, maintaining sustainable growth. Overcoming obstacles and venturing into uncharted territory. Where is Toyota going next?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Akio Toyoda. And thank you very much for coming to today's Toyota Investors Meeting 2015. Thank you so very much. I understand as many as 4,000 of you are here today. Thank you. I would like to use this opportunity today to speak plainly about how I feel about cars and the running of Toyota. First, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. It may surprise you to learn that after graduating from college, I worked at an American investment bank for a while. There, I worked in mergers and acquisitions. At first, I entered the financial industry because I wanted to learn about the flow of money in the world and cutting-edge financial technologies. However, through my work, I came to notice something more important. What I realized was, in the world of finance, it is important that mutual trust and confidence exist between customers and financial institutions because financial products are opaque and intangible. Mergers and acquisitions in particular affect many people, including, of course, the employees and business partners of the companies involved, as well as the local communities. Therefore, in addition to understanding the figure-based economic rationale, it's also necessary to pay attention to the thoughts and feelings of the people involved. These real-life situations made me realize that financial work is a true test of human strength. My experiences with capitalism and the stock market in the United States taught me that the essence of finance is trust and confidence, and also sincere interaction with all related parties. After several years there, I decided to join Toyota. My father, who was the company president at the time, gave me a word of warning. No Toyota manager will want to have you working under him. After joining I did indeed encounter a lot of preconceptions. People questioned whether I had ever experienced any real hardships, whether a boy from a rich family could be counted on. Although I had expected some of this, it felt like I was spending my time at work continuously asking myself, who am I? What is my role here? While battling these preconceptions. A big turning point came for me when we experienced the Recoil Crisis primarily in the United States. On February 24, 2010, I appeared at a congressional hearing in the United States.
Why haven't you offered that feature for all Toyota vehicles?
Taking a serious view of the situation that customers had anxiety about the rare possibility of sudden acceleration, we decided to take an extra step to further reassure the safety and security. Toyota was in the eye of a storm, and I was resigned to the possibility that my presidency could end soon, making my tenure as company president a very short one. At the same time, I felt that I was the only person qualified to protect Toyota. Then, for the first time since joining the company, I felt a strangely positive sense of purpose and usefulness. After the public hearing, for the first time for me, I appeared on a live TV program. I was on the popular US talk show called Larry King Live. At the end of the program, after being questioned for some time about the recalls, Larry King asked me what kind of car I drove. Taken by surprise, I answered frankly, I drive many kinds of cars. I really love cars. Hearing this, Larry King laughed and said, I hope everything turns around. I vividly remember feeling right then that I hadn't conveyed my real feelings. This may sound like an exaggeration, but I personally think that this might have been the moment when public opinion in the United States began to turn around. After that, a lot of emails started to arrive at our American dealers. The emails said things like, it's good to know that Toyota's president is a car fan, and I can trust cars made by a car fan. That made me feel truly relieved. From this experience, I drew a clear lesson. As a company executive, I am responsible. That responsibility is to personally gain the trust and confidence of all our stakeholders. It was the same lesson I learned from working in the US financial markets. Trust and confidence in our products are what Toyota has relied on most. When they were shaken by the recall crisis, I was forced to examine myself and my behavior and ask, as a company executive, am I worthy of trust? Am I facing all of our stakeholders with due sincerity? In order to meet the expectations of the many people who support Toyota, I felt acutely that as I manage Toyota, I must keep its present, its past, and its future in mind. The experience of the recall crisis strengthened my resolve to be the person ultimately responsible for everything at Toyota. In leading Toyota's global operations, I feel a strong responsibility to strive to build a new relationship between our company and investors based on trust and confidence. And it is on this basis that I ask all of you for your ongoing support. Now, I would like to talk about my management philosophy. I want to make Toyota a company that always continues to grow in the face of any adversity. The engines that drive that sustainable growth are making ever better cars and developing human resources. In 2014, Toyota, which includes Daihatsu and Hino, became the world's first automaker to sell more than 10 million vehicles in a year. Selling a car is not the end of the business transaction. Our relationship with the customer begins when the car is delivered. Since the average car is used for 20 or 30 years through several ownership changes, selling 10 million vehicles a year now means that in 10 years' time, as a maker, we will be taking care of and servicing 100 million vehicles. When I think this way, I feel very keenly the huge responsibility that comes with selling 10 million vehicles a year. Unless we come up with a new way of working and new framework, we cannot even begin to discuss the possibility of future growth. I believe that the time has come for Toyota to build a new business model of its own. When we announced our full-year financial results in May last year, I spoke about us taking an intentional pause to strengthen our competitiveness. However, I was not saying that sales volume and profit would be intentionally paused. Effectively, for Toyota to continue to grow sustainably, we need a period in which we can change the mindset of the people who work at Toyota and reassess their working methods. That's the intentional pause. Work is already underway. First, our vehicle development sites are changing significantly. Right now, an initiative called Toyota New Global Architecture, or TNGA, is being promoted at development sites. Simply put, TNGA is a framework for reassessing every activity, from planning, design, and parts procurement to production, in order to build attractive cars that people all over the world feel they'd love to own. We are, however, often asked how TNGA is different from modularization and the use of common parts. The foundation of TNGA is the aim to build cars that are attractive and stylish. Therefore, we decided to reform the vehicle platform, which determines the basic performance of cars. Focusing on styling that will make people want the car at first glance, driving performance that will make people want to keep driving our cars once they try them. We're going to further refine the styling and driving performance of our cars. On top of that, we are working on smarter ways to build those cars. That's what TNGA is all about. The look of our plants is also changing. A key phrase we are using here is simple and slim. We have switched to using more compact equipment that can be installed directly on top of the floor, whereas in the past, it would have been installed within the floor or suspended from the ceiling. These and other initiatives are reducing investment costs. Already, we have been able to reduce the amount of estimated investment required to build new plants by approximately 40% compared to 2008. And the key word for us in this area is flexible. Following the dramatic fall in demand during the global financial crisis, we have strived to develop extendable production lines that are resistant to fluctuations in demand. We placed a freeze on new plant construction. This is a time for us to work on fully utilizing our current production capacity, rather than, as we used to do, build plants to boost volume. We are taking this time to comprehensively study the value of a new style of competitive plant. This year, we plan to launch a new car model that incorporates the TNGA philosophy. We are also starting to see the emergence of a new style of plants. A new dimension of smarter car manufacturing has begun at both development sites and production sites. In addition, it is important to continue developing human resources rooted in the concept of gaining on-site hands-on experience. Since 2007, Toyota has participated in the 24-hour endurance race at the Nurburgring circuit in northwestern Germany. No other circuit is as grueling as this one. Cars that have been driven on a test course for a long time can develop many new issues after being driven a mere 24 hours at Nurburgring. Some of these issues can be related to engine durability, the electrical system, and body rigidity. The Nurburgring endurance race enables us to discover issues that would take 20 or 30 years to appear just driving on public roads and test courses. Indeed, it's perfect for this. What we are most particular about is the formation of a team made up of mostly Toyota employees, including mechanics. During the race, issues come up one after another, but time, personnel, and materials are limited. Amazingly, people are able to an incredible level of concentration and resourcefulness when they try to solve these problems under such intense conditions. In this way, Nurburgring is like a martial art training hall that can strengthen both our cars and our employees. I go to the race at Nurburgring annually. I sometimes even take the wheel myself. At first, I received a great deal of criticism from both inside and outside Toyota, with people saying things like, "He's just doing that for fun," and "he lacks risk management." No, my aim is to transform Toyota into a company that makes ever better cars, and to do that, I want to convey to everyone connected to making our cars the importance of experiencing cars firsthand. So I continue to take the wheel. Last year, we began a new project in which Toyota employees drove our cars across Australia. We want to increase the number of Toyota people who have gained extensive real-world experience on roads all over the world. We also want to increase the number of experienced Toyota people who have pushed the cars they created to the limit. At Toyota, we are all committed to making ever better cars. It is our focus.
What development sites and production sites share is the recognition that the most important thing is trusting the human ability to think and thoroughly train oneself. I believe that what has supported Toyota's growth up to now has been our people who shared the desire to contribute to the automobile industry and to contribute to society through car manufacturing. It is the people who always try to improve how things were done in their workplaces and continuously implemented new ways and methods. I believe it is my mission to continue developing such human resources. There are, of course, many management indices. At Toyota, I think the following are most important. Are we getting closer to making ever better cars? Are we developing human resources with strong thinking abilities? Do we have a good balance among tilling the soil, sowing seeds, and reaping the harvest? These indices are not easy to quantify and more difficult to observe. Therefore, as an executive, I believe I must go to development sites and production sites to see and sense the true abilities of Toyota, because these cannot be sensed from numbers alone. I believe that it is steady effort focused on both making ever better cars and human resources development that leads to improvements in management indices such as sales volume, sales revenue, operating profit, and ROE. Let me digress for a moment. I sometimes wonder what kind of people made up Toyota during its early days. In March last year, a TV series called Leaders aired in Japan. The story was modeled on Toyota's early years. In particular, there was one scene that left a strong impression on me. Keiichiro Toyoda proposed car manufacturing to his co-workers. We'll dismantle this car and study the parts and structure. If we don't do anything, the Japanese auto industry will be taken over by foreign cars. For the national interest, somebody has to do something. Yes, let's do it. Yes, let's do it. When Keiichiro said, "Let's make cars," his co-worker shouted, "Yes, let's do it." Keiichiro founded Toyota, but I feel that the company grew because of those who said, "Yes, let's do it." That's why the series was called Leaders in the plural. During the founding period, these leaders had the Japan of 20 to 30 years hence in their sights. That's why they came together and said, "Yes, let's do it." Now, how many people are there in today's Toyota who would say, "Yes, let's do it"? I can confidently say that there are many. However, as the size of our company has increased, work has been divided into smaller segments, with the work in front of them keeping them too busy. Some of our employees may have forgotten that spirit. All they have to do is remember what they have forgotten. Toyota's strength lies in the entrepreneurial spirit of continually taking on challenges and keeping the world of 20 to 30 years later in its sights. We have many leaders in the workplace who are the inheritors of that spirit. I aim to keep my sights on 20 to 30 years ahead and practice tree trunk management, whereby growth and strength is continually achieved by building on previous growth. Lastly, I would like to talk about my vision, the mobility society of the future. Before the Ford Model T debuted more than 100 years ago, 15 million horses were used in the United States for transporting people and goods. After that, it is said that nearly all of the horses were replaced by automobiles within as little as 20 years. Why did people choose to switch to cars? I'm sure there were a variety of reasons, but one suggestion is that riding an automobile was more fun than riding on a horse. 100 years later, cars have become more useful and comfortable, but at the same time there are related issues that concern the environment, energy, and safety. I believe that now may be the time the world needs another once-in-100 years innovation. Precisely because we are living in such an era, we at Toyota want to pay particular attention to the joy of mobility, which we see as the original purpose of automobiles. When you think about it, moving is living. Just as a baby naturally learns to crawl, stand up, and begin to walk, humans have an innate desire to move freely where they want. Even when we get older and our physical strength has declined, I believe there is no change to the desire to move around. When all people are freely able to enjoy a level of mobility that allows them to go wherever they want to whenever they want, surely that will be a society that achieves true mobility. Movement also allows people to encounter a wide variety of stimuli, including scenery and people, which can touch their hearts. I believe that autonomous movement gives rise to inspiration, which becomes the driving force for enriching our world. We live in a time when the internet enables people to virtually experience the entire world. However, while people may feel as if they are moving, in reality, they may lose the ability to move. This fear sometimes haunts me. If we can create cars that make all people feel the joy of physically moving, many things might begin to move more actively than they do now. I believe that Toyota exists to take the first step towards this transformation. When we think about the mobility society of the future, from such a viewpoint, we can say that the forms and roles of cars might change dramatically. For example, personal mobility systems designed to provide people with freer mobility, such as the I-Road and Winglet, are being developed with the goal of commercialization in the near future. Furthermore, advances in technologies will link cars to people in the community. Cars will therefore play an even more important role as part of the social infrastructure. If we are able to better utilize the sensors installed in cars, we might create entirely new business opportunities. In the medical field, technologies are being developed that would help people walk and move less strenuously. Examples include partner robots that assist in physical rehabilitation. In this way, there are ever-expanding possibilities for cars of the future. Last year, we launched the Mirai fuel cell vehicle. It was 1992 when Toyota first began developing a fuel cell vehicle. It took us 20 years to finally reach a point where we can bring one to the market. The engineers who developed this vehicle took inspiration from the slogan, "Setting the next 100 years in motion." I ask for only one thing from the development team. Let's make it a fun car. Rather than making the car's eco-image or environmental friendliness its selling point or reason for making it, we wanted to create a car that would make people think cars are going to be fun for the next 100 years too. We wanted to create a car that the children who represent the next generation would admire. With this in mind, we named it Mirai, which means future in Japanese. There are limits to what Toyota alone can achieve in the development of a hydrogen-based society and a future society that values mobility. We must unite our efforts with many related parties in order to resolve the many issues we are facing. Nevertheless, Toyota made the decision to take the first step. It is the start of a long journey. It is a challenging journey leading to a future 100 years from now. The Mirai is not the only innovation Toyota is working on. Cars offer us a variety of possibilities. We are committed to making ever better cars, and we will work hard to help achieve an ever more enjoyable society. We want Toyota's sustainable growth to benefit the world. That's why we will keep working harder than ever. So everyone, please join together with us and let's do it. I ask all of you for your ongoing support. Thank you very much.